I will be having a lot of psilocybin tonight. It is stormy inside of me sometimes. I feel so raw right now. Last night was the third ceremony, knocked me off my feet. I couldn't talk, I couldn't stand up.
I'm Sarah and this is Charlie. We share this channel about life, love, travel, and adventure, but this week I'm going to take you deep into my first experience taking a large dose of psilocybin with healing in mind. If you missed last week's episode, you might want to go back and watch it to learn why I decided to do this.
Hi, so we just finished our first ceremony with the mushrooms. I just started to have such clear downloads, solutions, and answers to a lot of things in my life, some of which don't feel easy. So saying solutions and answers to me seems like, oh, great. But sometimes I think the solution was like, I'm doing something one way, and that would be easier for me, but it's not the right way. So it's causing like a spiral of hard things throughout my life. So difficult answers that I think will provide beauty if I follow through with them. It was a very, very small dose today just to test like how sensitive we are to the mushroom, and I felt not very sensitive at all. After my initial dose, I was like, I don't feel anything, I don't feel anything. And since I've never done a macro dose of mushrooms before, I didn't really know what to expect or how long it would take. But when they came around with additional mushrooms that we could optionally have, 2 servings of like 0.25 grams each, I think, I took both of those because I was like, I feel nothing. And then things started to flow for me. It was a beautiful experience, very peaceful. Definitely some like hard, sad moments when I would have an epiphany of something that needed to change that would be painful to change, as in like covering up a insecurity or covering up something in my life that I've covered up because it would be easy to cover up, easier than looking at it. But that's why I'm here, tearing those things back so that I can be the most evolved, highest consciousness version of myself and create the most love and wonderful things in the world. Another thing I heard loud and clear is that I'm supposed to be doing this channel. So we're gonna keep going. I'm standing in front of the temple right now. Today is the main ceremony. It's not until the evening around 6:30, 6 o'clock. And I'm so excited. The medicine just felt so simple and easy to me. It was just like a through line to the subconscious. And that was just a really, really small dose that they were really using to test our dosage. And then this evening's the big one. And I'm so ready for it. Welcome into the space where all 3 psilocybin ceremonies were held. There was no filming or even technology in the temple during ceremonies, but in between I got to take a few videos of what it was like inside. Hello! I am taking a little rest in my room right now. We just finished a beautiful sharing circle that I was super nervous going into because it can be, everyone came here to like work through stuff, and it can be a lot to take all that in, but the way the space was held, it was really nice versus like sometimes when you're sitting around, it can be like, whew, that was way too much too fast to take in from someone. So I feel like I was really nervous sharing and only shared like a very small smidgen of my experience. And I'm just feeling like resting. Okay, feeling a little more alive. We also just had a conversation about dosing, and I told them, give me as much as you'll let me have as soon as you'll let me have it. Because I just felt yesterday like I was able to really quickly access my subconscious, but at moments my brain would come on and just be like, no, we're not gonna think about that. And I'm specifically here to think about those things that I don't want to think about. So I will be having a lot of psilocybin tonight. I feel like this is definitely the culmination of a season of personal growth for me that I have wanted for a long time and only been able to access this year. This whole entire year has really been about personal growth for me as the main focus, the one and only focus. And I think I've done it as much as I can with my logical mind, but I still have my subconscious acting for me at times when I don't want it to, and I still have, the best way to describe it is I feel like I have this inner storm, and it is stormy inside of me sometimes, and that has been a big thing that prevented me from like having joy and quiet moments when we were out sailing, and I just feel so called to have that in my life, more quiet moments and more sailing, which was like the epitome of quiet moments. And to do that, I have to have peace and joy inside of me. And so that's what I'm here to work on, and work through all those things that aren't peace and joy that are inside of me. The ceremony is about to begin, and I am so ready for it. Time to go be changed forever. Hi. I feel so raw right now. Last night was the first deep dive with the mushrooms, and it's now about 1 o'clock the next day, and we just left a sharing circle. But I had to start with the most classical psychedelic mushroom experience possible, and there were snakes everywhere guiding me into it, and it was really intense, and then it was just psychedelic, and then the beings there started to guide me on a journey, and I became too afraid, because fear is driving so much of what I do that's not serving me. And I was still very much with it. I could choose to be on the journey, or I could choose to sit up and be in the space. And it just was too much, so I chose to sit up and be in the space. And I looked around me, and I had so much fear that my actions were too much, that I was crying too loud, or something like that, or I was going to lose control and they may not give me more mushrooms. And I wasn't totally sure. I did know that I wanted to have more mushrooms, so I asked for them, and they took a while to make them, and I laid down to wait while that was happening, and Charlie came and laid with me. It was as if we were back home in our bed in Vermont, and I was crying, and he was telling me that it would be okay to go. It would be okay to go there. And I went there, and I healed I felt for the first time the hardest experiences of my life and the deepest fears that I have, and that's all. I felt them, and I moved through the feelings, and that is in itself healing. Some of the things I've tried to have a feeling about before, but just haven't had a single feeling with any therapy or energy work that I've done. But I had all the feelings, and right now I need to rest, and I feel like I may need to rest for a month or so. But I feel like I know the next part of my path, and there's more rest in it than I've allowed myself lately, as I try to create so many things to keep myself safe. I create them to keep myself safe. And because of that, I'm not creating the life of my dreams. And so I've been able to move through the fear of the lack of safety, and I'm going to commit to my dreams in all of its rawness, and it's the harder path for me. I woke up this morning, I didn't sleep much, the serpents were still with me as I fell asleep, and I definitely feel in my head some pain, some detoxing. It was funny, last night during the ceremony, I smelled my left armpit and it smelled so bad. And I smelled my right armpit and it didn't smell at all. And the left side of the body is the Ida side, the feminine energy side. And I think that I was just detoxing so much pain and suffering that I've experienced, that my ancestors have experienced. And I just need to rest for a while. I'm gonna go get in the ocean before lunch. I'm just really grateful for this time here. This is an experience that I've been seeking for 4 years, and it's here, I'm here, so. Good morning! A very large amount of this episode is going to be from bed. It's our last main day, and it is a jam-packed day. I am about to go to movement class, which has been more like natural movement focused exercises than anything, which has been something I've been really wanting to learn about, so that's been awesome. And after that, we have another psilocybin ceremony. I asked for a smaller dose than the big deep dive, just to go in a little easier, and then I'll probably up that to about the same. And then in the afternoon we have a sharing circle, and then there's ecstatic dance and a fire circle in the evening, and then tomorrow people start going home, and then for the next 2 days. So I talked to Charlie yesterday afternoon and processed with him like everything I processed alone, and now I feel like I have some specific new intentions that I'm hoping to work through today. It's apparently a bit more interactive of a ceremony. They aren't really giving us many details, but I'm not exactly feeling great about the interactive aspect, though so far everything these people have done has been great, so going to lean into that, but definitely feeling like I need some more personal time with the mushroom medicine too. So, along for the ride. Hello! I am back in Vermont. I've been traveling for the past 48 hours, and I got in super late last night. The third ceremony knocked me off my feet. I couldn't talk, I couldn't stand up. I'm talking about after the ceremony. I went through some sort of death. I'm still very much processing it all, but I felt a lot of sadness and a lot of pain that's been stored in my body, and I was able to embody it and move through it, and I believe let go of it. I feel reborn. Words really fail to describe the experience, but all I can say is that I know a lot more of my life will be in connection with medicine practices like this. And it's good to be back. We have a pretty big change about to happen. I'm not going to tell you yet because that would kind of, I don't even know. But it's gonna be a busy couple days, and I'm so happy to see all this snow, and I'm so happy to have come from the ocean, and I'm just so grateful for the medicine and the people who held the space for the medicine. And I'm also really grateful for all the people who have held the medicine and helped it continue over the many, many, many centuries where it's had a largely up and down with if it's legal or not legal, or acceptable culturally or not, and repressed, and people who are using it are tormented, and it's quite something. But it is very powerful medicine, and my experience was such that I would only really recommend it with a sitter, somebody that is familiar with guiding people through journeys. I don't know that I would be okay without that. I'm so grateful for the people who were there. And that's just my experience though. So I don't know, I'm gonna do more of it. I couldn't film the ceremonies because there was a no technology rule, which I totally respect and want that rule. But hopefully this gives you a little view into what the experience is like. And if you're seeking this, I hope you find it. It will come.
That's a wrap for this week. Thanks so much for coming along on that journey with me, and tune in next week because we are going to have a major life change. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up to tell me that you liked it, and left a comment below to tell me what you liked about it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode, and thank you so much to our Patreons. You are motivating me to keep making these videos. Thank you.